Right, this is why you don't buy socks off of wish.com. Can you see why? Oh dear. Oh dear. Hi guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. My name's James Clark and I'm a sports photographer and videographer in the UK. The reason why I'm showing you this sock is because it has a very famous photo of Muhammad Ali on it, and it will link nicely into the first photographer that I'm going to talk about in today's video. So today I'm bringing you 10 photographers or sports photographers that you should follow on Instagram today. Okay, so the first photographer we're going to talk about is the god of photographers, in my opinion. This guy, Leifer, is just an iconic chap. I mean, if you have a look through some of his photos, you'll recognize him, in particular for probably my favorite photo of all time, which is, of course, of Muhammad Ali and his knockdown of Sonny Liston. I mean, yes, you had to be in the right place at the right time to take that photo. If you see in the background, there's photographers in the background. They probably wish they were in Neil's seat right now. But probably my favorite photo of all time. But not only that, he takes some awesome photos at awesome times. I think one of the things for me that I am inspired by with Neil's photos in particular is that even in some of his action photos, the subject in the photo is clean. What I mean by that is that the background just is as clean as possible, and then therefore the subject is the main focus of the photograph. So photos of Muhammad Ali, even Tyson Fury, the backgrounds are just super clean, and therefore who the subject is in the photographs. Even this one of this high jump is just like, you can tell who the subject is in that photo. Yeah, just amazing photos by Neil, and he's been going for 60 plus years. So even these ones, I was learning the other day that these are double exposures, and he just wanted to capture the best elements of a coach rather than him on the side of the court. So really interesting, all of Neil's photos, and of course, who can forget that one photograph of Muhammad Ali, and it's probably one of the all-time favourites, which never won an award apparently, or never got onto a front cover. So Neil, tip my hat to you, one of the greatest photographers of all time. Alrighty, so I'm going to move on to some cycling photographers that you might be really interested in following. Obviously, cycling and triathlon are kind of like the main sports that I kind of work with, but I do work in other sports as well. So these two photographers, I talk about one each time, but these two photographers are just insane in their field of cycling in particular. So the first one is my biggest inspiration in cycling, and that is Jered Gruber. I mean, where do I start with this guy? I think I found him on Cycling Maven's YouTube channel at one point, and then I've never stopped following since. I mean, for me, as someone that likes landscapes as well as shooting sport, who better else to follow than Jered? For example, obviously this photo right here, just insane. I mean, the contrast must have been super good on that day, but just getting some of those shots there, taking shots from people's back gardens and from inside of people's homes, just amazing photographs. And I think the main thing for me with Jered is that he always seems to get photos from different perspectives, and I'll talk about his partner coming up soon, but just always seems to get photos like this one, for example, just in places where you'd never find. Different photographers probably get banned for that photo, but you'd find him in different places compared to other photographers, and yeah, just stunning work really. Not only does he show good technical skill, but also his composition is just through the roof. I think he probably used his phone as a reflection on that photo, but just really high class, clean images, and definitely someone that you should follow. Now, obviously, the second person that I would recommend following is his partner, Ashley. And these two are definitely partners in crime, and their photos are very similar styles, but I think Ashley's is just, I think she likes to capture the emotion a lot more in her photos. I'm just trying to scroll to some now on my phone, but I mean, the story and emotions in these photos are just insane. Obviously, she was one of the ones on the Paris-Roubaix last year to get inside the famous shower cubicles as well. Just insane photos. I keep using that word, insane. But yeah, I think, as I said, she's got very similar style to Jered. Likes capturing the landscapey kind of shots as well, amongst the sport element of her photos. This one exactly is one of my favourites from her, I think, is of the Stade Bianchi. Probably got the wrong race. But yeah, just shooting where no other photographer will be. You're probably seeing this image here. If I can, it's the only thing with carousels, you can't really zoom in on it. But you'll see a load of photographers behind the finish line there that you won't see Ashley at ever, I think. So just those two in general are just very class photographers in cycling, and definitely photographers you should follow. I mean, that's Ashley's photo there, but you'll probably find Jered in the field in that photo. So insane photographers in cycling, go and follow them today. And they're super nice people as well to talk to. I've messaged Jered a few times, so yeah, awesome. Alrighty, so the last cycling photographer I wanted to go and follow today is a guy called Andrew Grant. Now this guy, I just love his photos. He's also a really nice guy if you talk to him in person as well. And I've asked him anything I've kind of had or stumbled on with my own work. So I just really like this guy's work. He's got a lot of different genres in there. He's got product shots. He's got landscapey, like aerial shots as well. He can do travel and commercial work as well. He does a lot of work with LeBlanc cycling tours. I just think his overall imagery is just super crisp, super clean. You know what you're looking at, and yeah, just an all-round decent photographer. I think the one thing that sets him apart is just his attention to detail in the shots. And yeah, just all round decent photographer. I think the one image here that I keep picking up, and he's pinned it as well, is a picture of Sacalabra and the twisting nature of the road. I was in Mallorca at the same time as seeing this image, and I just wanted to get the same shot, but conditions weren't right on the day, so there we go. But yeah, Andrew Grant, go and give him a follow. And like all the other photographers on this video, I'll leave a link to all of their handles for Instagram in the description box below. So the next photographer I'm going to talk to you about today is a guy called James Mitchell, and I'm going to take you to the triathlon world now. Now, James Mitchell I have met in person. He's taken me on the back of his moped whilst photographing the pro triathlete that I work with in Harry Palmer, and he's a super nice guy, very funny actually, and I've had a really good laugh with him. But his photography as well is just really good. I really like his underwater photos, and has really inspired me to get an underwater cage. You'll see him here on this video with him under the water, if it plays, if my internet is playing ball. But yeah, really good photographer. He mixes up his styles of panning and just still action shots as well. Really captures the like the emotion in photographs. Obviously with Lucy Giles, for example, in this photo, yeah, he's spraying and praying, but yeah, you can really see the imagery coming to life and really telling a story. But yeah, James, I don't think all of his best work is on Instagram, but still a really worthwhile photographer to see what he's up to, different methods he's using in taking his photographs. One thing I really like about James and his photography, as well as his swimming photos, is just mixing in, I think this is kind of an example here of mixing in a little bit of foreground element into the subject in the midground, and keeping that background nice and clean as well in the background. But yeah, super good photographer. I really like his underwater photos. There's one that I was going to show you, this one here, that sunlight hitting the water, and then that black wetsuit there, just really making that subject nice and clean. So yeah, James, really good photographer, really nice person to meet in person as well. So go and give him a nice little follow. Alrighty, let's move into the world of motorsport. Well, actually, this photographer didn't start out in motorsport, as I found out in a podcast, which I'll talk about in a minute. But Finn P, I'm going to talk about now, owner of We Are 8 Seconds. But this guy here, Finn, he started off taking photographs while skydiving. And here's a few photos of him taking photos of his mates. And I think from the podcast, which I'll talk about, he stuck it pretty much anywhere, I think, whilst he was skydiving. So yeah, as I mentioned, I found Finn on a podcast called Another Idea. And it's a great podcast for you guys to listen to as well. If you're a creative that is looking for inspirational ideas in your photography, videography, etc., a great podcast to go and listen to. And that's how I found Finn. And I think the main thing that sold Finn to me was, when I found him, was his Instagram grid, which is just insanely consistent. It's smart. It's really like, I don't even know if I could get my grid this clean, but yeah, he's got a real good mixture of techniques and styles in his imagery. And yeah, a really great person to follow, and I'm really happy I found this one to kind of look at now, because I just love this image, especially the reflection against, I guess, the team vehicle. But yeah, go and give Finn a follow, because his work is just like top quality, and his Instagram grid just reflects that as well. Alrighty, so we're over halfway now. There's just 4 photographers left. So I thought I'd just take a little bit of a break here and just talk to you about, I know I'm not really talking to the camera too much, because I'm trying to screen record and try and talk about what these photographers mean to me and the inspirations they are to me. So I hope you don't mind that at all, but stay around to the end of the video. Let me know who your favourite photographer that I've introduced you to today, and also recommend some other sports photographers that you think that I should try and follow myself. But make sure you stay to the end of the video, because I'm going to try and introduce something new to you and try and help me on my own Instagram channel as well, and also to see if we can share some of your work. So that is going to be the big takeaway. So stay to the end of the video. 4 photographers left. Let's get right into it. Alright, so the first of the last 4 photographers is probably one of my favourite all-round photographers. I mean, Richard Heathcote is just insane. I mean, he just seems to just get his images just right. I mean, the composition is probably the one thing that stands out for me. But, I mean, he covers a wide range of sports. And the timing, like I said, the timing is just top notch. I mean, this guy just loves shooting into the sun, for example, with no fear. I really like silhouette shots. I need to do more silhouette shots, but his golf shots in particular obviously just stand out to me. But and again, the clean background thing is a big plus, and something that you should always look for in your sports photos. So his golf ones just do that for me. Even like football photos do that. I think, like I said, the timing of his photos is just really good, because even this picture here of Crystal Palace Football Club, and I think it's Elise, I think that's how you spell his name, but up and coming footballer. Just the timing of that photo and what it means in that moment is just really top class. Now the one thing that really stood out to me with Richard is some of these top-down photos from the World Cup. One of the things that I really actually enjoyed about the World Cup, even given how controversial it was with human rights, etc., was just the different perspectives you were getting from some of the photographers and the stories that those photos told. Like this one, for example, when I think this is the quarterfinals, I think, when Argentina knocked out Holland on penalties. Controversial at the time, I suppose, with them like chanting as they were going past the Netherlands players. But just again, some of the stories that these photos told. Obviously, Morocco being really unlucky against France. But I just loved these photos from above. Unfortunately for England, we didn't get as far as he probably wanted. But cheers, Harry Kane. But yeah, again, like silhouette shots, Gareth Bale, just all round really, really good photos. And I said, clean backgrounds is a big yes for me, I think, with photos, and something I try and look for in my own when I'm taking photos. So yeah, just a top photo taker in all kinds of sports, and definitely someone that you should go and follow. Definitely. I mean, there's a mixture of techniques as well. It just does it all. Ticks all the boxes for me, and as a sports photographer. So Richard, good job. I'm not sure about being a Watford fan, but yeah, go and give this guy a follow. Alrighty, so one sports photographer that I've followed for a long time is a guy called Tom Jenkins. He's been photographing for a very long time, but his work is just insane. I mean, I think he's just someone that takes photos not just of the action and the important parts of taking sports photos, getting all the right parts of an event, etc. But he seems to just take photos that other people don't see, or probably other photographers don't see, like this one, for example. I mean, I just love that photo of that lone England supporter in amongst all the Welsh fans. Just love it. And I mean, just like, look at this photo, like, wow, like obviously a lot of post editing going into that photo, but just insane photos, and techniques that he uses is just incredible. And yeah, just someone that I said you should go and follow, because just the timing. And I mean, the one thing that he kind of sold it to me was just when I first found him, was just some of his Liverpool photos. There's more further down, but obviously when I first found him, and then when I keep seeing these other photos of Liverpool, it just was like, as a Liverpool fan, it was just a big win for me. So yeah, just an insane photographer. Again, capturing the story and timing of the photos all through his work is just top gravy. Not like the TV program that this guy stars in, but there we go. Alrighty, so I must be a sucker for two things, and that is a clean photo grid on Instagram or top-down photos. So the next photographer is a guy called Dan Mullan, and hopefully I'll spell that surname correctly. But yeah, a clean, probably the cleanest Instagram grid you'll find, but also the top-down photos from the World Cup again. It's just incredible and telling so much of a story. I think, was that in the final, France and Argentina? I think it was. So, oh no, it's Croatia, but still a very similar kit. But just so much story in all of these photographs from a different perspective. It's just incredible. I think I've not seen anything like it before, actually. I mean, where can you go wrong, really? But with Dan, obviously, there's, like some of the other photographers, there's a mixture of techniques in there. Again, a lot of the backgrounds are super clean. So even like Jazz Sayers there, when she won a European title the other week, just like really clean. And obviously this one just contrasts so well with the British flag and the grey flooring underneath. Track underneath. But yeah, I mean, obviously with a lot of sports photos outside, etc., you are going to get clean backgrounds with individual photos, whereas obviously action, you're going to have a lot going on in the background, like that one, for example. But obviously with having a camera with such a f2.8, for example, you're going to get like a lot of blurring in the background. But I think that's what works with these top-down photos. Obviously, you've got the photo of the subject, but you've also got the clean background of just shooting straight down into grass. It just works so well. But yeah, Dan Mullan, just great photographer, mixture of sports, mixture of techniques, and just very clean Instagram grid. Cool, I remember that happening. Cool. Anyway, go and give Dan a follow. Okay, so we're moving on to the last photographer, and probably the first sports photographer in particular that I found on YouTube and on Instagram in particular, and her name is Elsa Garrison. American photographer, mainly shooting baseball, but obviously shoots a lot of different sports, as you'll see on her grid. And I mean, I just really like Elsa's photos. Obviously, I found her on YouTube, and she liked to talk about her journey as a photographer, what she likes to do in terms of photography, in terms of telling a story. I think she referenced her going to Cuba, I think it was, or Dominican Republic, and just trying to capture kind of like the small town kind of baseball, or youth baseball, I think it was. And I think that just reflects in her work really, in terms of telling stories and moments really in sport. So I mean, just really top photos really, all the way through her Instagram grid, and just I think throughout her sports photography career. I like these fencing photos a lot, just because the black background really just fits it so well. But she is a very iconic photographer, particularly in the baseball world, but a top photographer to follow as well, in general. So yeah, go and give Elsa a follow. She's just top gravy. And I guess the last thing to talk about really is that she just captures iconic moments of iconic sportsmen and women as well. So all the way through her grid, you'll see all of those moments come to fruition on her grid. So yeah, well done guys, all 10 of you. Cool. I've not done anything like this before, so I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm going to move on to something new and exciting for this channel and for Instagram in particular. Okay, so the thing I want to talk about now is how I can integrate YouTube with Instagram and try and bring the community together and just share your work really. So what I'm going to do is try and create a hashtag which is going to be Just James Sports, and if you use that hashtag on Instagram, I'll be able to see your work and then be able to share it with the wider community on YouTube. So try and use that hashtag on Instagram. Let's see what you guys are creating, whether it's in the sports world, landscapes, etc. Let's just get that work out there, and then hopefully I'll be able to share your work on future YouTube videos. So hopefully that clarifies things a little bit with that. If there are any questions, just leave a comment down below. But yeah, exciting to see what you guys get up to and share your work. Alrighty, that is it for this video. Hopefully you spotted the little mistake on the socks. Wish.com, you need to learn how to spell, honestly, crikey. But hopefully you've got some new sports photographers to go and follow over on Instagram. There are a lot more sports photographers that I do follow, and I could have quite easily included in on this video, but I think 10 is a good starting point, and the 10 that I featured on this video are probably the 10 that inspire me the most in my work. So hopefully you go and follow those 10 people. Again, their links are down in the description box below. But yeah, don't forget to use that new hashtag as well. Until the next video, I'll see you in the next one.